Assalamu alaikum. I've always been fascinated by Japanese culture, and one of my biggest dreams was to sit down with someone from Japan and really get into their perception of life. Well, that dream came true just a couple of weeks ago, subhanAllah. I had the honor of meeting Aquil Qureshi, a Japanese Muslim who traveled all the way from Japan to the Islam Channel headquarters here in London. This was my chance to finally ask the questions I've been holding on to about such an intriguing society. And trust me, the conversation did not disappoint at all. For the first time ever on Islam Channel, I sit down with a Muslim from Japan to tackle the questions you and I have always wanted to ask about the secrets behind Japan's perfectionism and social harmony. You don't want to miss this.
Assalamu alaikum. 今日ここに来れてすごく嬉しいです。I am born and raised in Japan as a Muslim, and I am a master's student under the lineage of Toshihiko Izutsu. And I am a practitioner, long-time practitioner of Sado and Aikido, exploring, the similarities between Japanese and Islamic values. Muslims are very increasing in Japan. If you look at the statistics, it is very increasing. Like in 2011, it was just 110,000 Muslims, but then in 2024, it was 350,000 Muslims approximately. So it is very increasing. So about the discrimination against foreigners or immigrants, I would say they might have some words said to them. For example, go back to your country. I was also being said that once in a school. So those kind of things can happen, but it's not the racism that happens in the States or other countries. The cause might be, it's just my guess, but I think it's not because how they look or how their skin colors or their clothes. I think it's just about their manners. For example, if you're in a train and we love to be quiet in the train, but if there's someone just starting to call someone and talking very loud, we just stare at them, or we don't want them to talk like that. But that happens a lot for foreigners who don't know about the Japanese culture. But if they just behave like us, being quiet, being respecting each other, then I think there won't be discriminations anymore. Yes, and about the similarities between Islam and Japan, I really wonder a lot. Also myself, as I'm born and raised in Japan as a Muslim, and I'm seeing these Japanese culture, and I see a lot of foreigners come to Japan saying that Muslims are, Japanese are really like a Muslim. They're acting like a Muslim, or some even say they're walking Qur'an or something. So yeah, I think there are a lot of similarities, and I see a lot of them inside their behaviors, but not only in their behaviors, but also in the religion. For example, the temple, shrine. If you just look at everything around you, it all connects to Islam, yes. So we have shrines and temples. Shrine is for Shinto, and temple is for basically Buddhists. And if you go to a shrine, they basically believe in the ghaib, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. So it's just a place there, and there's no idols, no statues there, and just stand in front of that and just make prayers and make dua, and that's it. They just make their own salah there. And if you go to, for example, temple, you would see a thing called otemizu. Otemizu, it means washing your hands or your mouth. So you just go there before facing the God. You wash your hands and mouth and purify yourself basically, and that's like wudu, isn't it? Like before, we never make salah without wudu. So yeah, that's basically same. We say it's kami, and kami or shin or jin. There's many way of saying it, but it's the same concept. But we don't know what that is, but we say there's something right there that we can't see, basically. But there's something there's a big power there that is always affecting us or controlling us. And we just call everything, kami or shin or jin. Still developing, I'm still studying for Islam, but my, I would say, tea ceremony is currently calming me more. And that's why I'm trying to, integrate this reason why I feel calm within the tea ceremony. And there must be some reason that I'm missing out in Salah, because I'm not raised in an Islamic country, so I don't know about Islam properly. But I would love to learn more about Islam, but I don't have the opportunity, basically. So I'm seeking out these opportunities within the tradition, because as Allah said that, to every nation the message is sent. So yeah, I'm trying to look through that. Yes, like everything in Aikido, I feel like I learn a lot of things about Islam through Aikido, because I don't have much opportunity about learning Islam. And through Aikido, for example, I learned the concept of Niyya, or for the other concept of, like, for example, La ikraha fi din. Like, you don't, force people to fall down. You just go by the flow, and then already your opponent is falling down. And you remove this hatred inside your heart, or you are basically combating, or you're, trying to attack them. But although your body is trying to attack them, you have to behave as if your heart is not trying to attack them. Do you get my point? My master says that although there might be an enemy in front of you, inside your heart there is no enemy. But we tend to, think, oh, there's an enemy and I have to, control them, I have to go over them, I have to go against them. But that's just your heart there, your ego there. We remove that and we just, surround ourselves with love and just move, accordingly to the situation. Then everything happens in the right manner.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's like basically tawakkul, like it just give everything to the higher power that we can't see. To do that, we remove our ego. And that's basically what I think Aikido is, and Islam connects to that. I'm born and raised in there, so I don't know other people, so I have to compare more, but maybe about the ego problem, it's also about the language. We don't usually say a lot of like I. For example, when we just talk about ourselves, we don't use the pronoun I, we just talk about ourselves. Or we don't even say, when we say thank you, the word you is there, but we just say arigato, which means just being grateful for the situation. We don't even say you or I, so it's just like everyone is the same. It's like the ummah, as the Prophet ﷺ says that ummah is like a body, right? Yeah. One body. And I think that's why also Japanese are, like we always want to be one body. That's why we don't want to be divided. Body is one. That's why we have to, behave in the same manner and care about each other and balance about each other. I think that's about Japan there. When I love to talk to grandmas and grandpas in Japan, and what Islamic value might impress them. That's a good question. Because like basically, if I talk anything about Islam, they would be like, okay, what? That's something normal. Why are you saying that to me? It's there already. So I'm not sure whether I can impress them or not, but I think I would say. وَلَئِنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Maybe. Because in Japan we just love to be grateful. But it's getting rare that people be grateful to each other. But if you just meet the grandpas and grandmas, they always say arigato, 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 and they're always doing shukr. So like, just connecting that with Islam, and we also have the same mindset might also, give them, I don't know, relief or hope, because the young generation is quite changing right now. Maybe, I don't know. if I would describe Islam in one kanji, I think I would say wa. Wa is, it's an easy word, but it's very, very historic, that it goes back to the Asuka period, which is about 8th century, 9th century-ish. And they had this constitution that says, keep the wa between you guys. And what does wa mean? It's really hard to translate. For example, we use the word wa for wafuku, which means Japanese clothes. So we just use wa as like a symbol of Japan. Or, for example, washoku, that means Japanese food. Or wafuku, that means Japanese clothes. So we just use wa as symbol of Japan. And we also use it in a different place where, for example, we add things, like addition, 1 + 1, that's also wa. Or when we mix vegetables and we just leave the vegetables as it is. So for example, I want everyone to taste this, but horenso no gomae, it's the best Japanese cuisine, I believe it is, but it's where you have spinach and goma, sesame, and it's mixed together, but you won't feel either one, you'll feel both of them present. So I think that's what is, because it's like, as human beings, everyone together, but we're not like making someone disappear. We're always there. And we're always there, and we're helping each other to become a better society, or the better dish, as the horenso no gomae. So yeah, everyone's present, and it's cooperating each other, helping each other. That's the concept of wa.
Togetherness.
Togetherness, yeah, that's nice. Smile is a charity. This word, I think it's from Hadith or something. I used to hate Islam and Muslims, but this word changed myself. It was by a British rapper called Khalid Siddiq. He was always using this word, and because of that word, smile is a charity. Like, I'm a weirdo in Japan. I just laughed, I just smiled to everyone. And if you go to Japan, you will notice that people rarely smile today, because I don't know why. Maybe it was because of the busyness, or if you go to a train, you just see people very sad or tired or exhausted, or like having their problems in their house and their workplace. And as you know, the suicidal rates in Japan, it's very high. And if I'm just there, smiling to someone, they also smile. A smile is infectious. I don't know why. It's really beautiful, like how charity gives your happiness. You share your happiness, and the smile also does the same thing. So yeah. When I'm smiling, I feel like, okay, because of Islam, I'm smiling. And because of that, I can, make someone smile. There's too much, so it's hard to limit to one, but I'm picking right now. Maybe one would be like, shukr, as we always say, arigato, arigato, all the time, not only to the human, but to the creation, everything. But I would like to maybe talk about haya. Haya as kenkyosa, or bashfulness, shyness, the positive shyness, bashfulness. Or rather, can I talk about a different one? I'm really looking upon this one custom that Japanese people do is Taqua they have, and there's no actually word for this in Japan. That's why I think that's being lost right now in the youth, the Japanese youth, but they certainly have Taqwa. They're always like scared of something. That's why it might be something unhealthy, but they're always being afraid or being overly worried about others or about other people's eyes, or so they don't want to harm someone, or they don't want someone to be feeling the harm from them. So they're always, being very, very cautious of their manners, their actions, their movements. There's even their small fingers, everything. Always feeling not scared, but But that might be a little bit unhealthy. But when I ask the grandmas, they say "Otento-sama ga miteru yo," which means like something up there in the heavens is watching you. And that's what they always say to their kids when they discipline their kids. For example, there's just a wallet there and there's no one there. It can just steal that because there's no God. That can be happen, but their grandmas, they always say, "Otento-sama ga miteru yo." So there's someone up there in the heavens that is always watching you, although no one's there. And isn't that taqwa, like, and ta'abud Allah ka'annaka tara, like you're always feeling that presence there and you're feeling that. And I think because of modernity and because of westernization, that otento-sama, something up there, changed the human's eyes. But I think it used to be something more heaven, more superhuman. So yeah, they're always, they still have this manner. Muslims should not harm someone. People should feel safe from that. That's what Japanese are basically doing, right? Yeah, so I think that's because of the taqwa they have from otento-sama, or modern days from human beings. That's really a good question, because I personally learned Islam through anime. That was my textbook, basically, because, as I said, there's no Islamic education in Japan when I was raised, and I learned the concept of, for example, Allah. They're controlling. You can't see Allah. I learned that from the anime called Sword Art Online. It's not a good anime, but it's about where you're captured inside a game, and there's the ones who create the game, controls the weather and controls the people, and sends sometimes Rasul, the people, just to moderate, to make things better. And so they're trapped inside a game and they have to live inside a game. That's the Sword Art Online. That's the anime there. And because of that, I learned, oh wait, if this world might be a game and we're trapped in here, there should be someone there, up there, controlling us, like that, Yeah, I really learned a lot of Islamic concepts through anime myself. So I think it's just about if you can verbalize those anime world into Islamic terminologies, and easily, I think, because there's no difference between what Japanese people are making importance to and what Islam is making importance to. So it's just about, I think, terminologies and anime. But La ilaha illallah, because I like to say this because I'm doing Sado and Aikido, and that's martial arts or tea ceremony, but they say that that's not something different from Zen. They say Chazen Ichimi, which means cha, ocha, tea. The way of tea is just same thing as Zen, or Kenzen Ichinyo, martial arts, the way of sword or fighting. It's not separate from Zen. The Zen, like the meditation. It's not. Well, it looks very different. Like one is fighting and one is making tea, but it's not. There's no difference between that Zen and those actions. And when I'm doing that, I feel like, wait, what is this in Islam? And I felt, oh wait, this is La ilaha. La ilaha. Like La ilaha, like all the time. When you're doing this meditation, basically your ego disappears and you're just in this world where everything feels the same. You have when you're doing a tea ceremony, you have your participant who comes to drink the tea, but it's not like I'm serving the tea. It's like I'm being pulled to serve. Like I don't feel separated with the participant. I don't feel anything. It's just one, just what wahid there, and yeah, like with that, I feel it's just La ilaha all the time. Or when I'm doing meditation, it's just disappearing all the things in your thoughts and it becomes zero, but then you feel something there, and I think that's illallah there. We don't know, in Japan we don't have the word Allah, so we can't name that Allah, but we're feeling something there. Yeah, and I think, yeah, for me that's La ilaha and then illallah. And when I'm in this Japanese mindfulness mindset, I always love to say La ilaha illallah. Sadly, there's no sheikh that I have met and actually got good advice yet, but I always receive good advices from sensei. Maybe that's because I just used to Japanese and I'm not used to other languages, so I don't get touched into my heart. But one might be just become the pathway. Just become the pathway. Like, you don't have to try to do something. You don't have to, for example, in the tea ceremony, you don't have to try to make the tea good. It just becomes good when you're not trying. Or when you're doing Aikido, the martial arts, you don't try to make someone fall down. You don't try to punch someone. You just move, and then you're there. You know, you're not thinking. You're just being aware. Yeah, be the pathway, and don't try. And pathway, when sensei means that, you know, humans are not always. We can't control ourselves basically. Like, you can't even control your heart's beat. Can you stop your heartbeat? We can't. Can you stop your digestion system? We can't. Can you stop your immune system? We can't. We can't control that. That's what my Aikido sensei always says, and that's why just there's this bigger system that is controlling you. Just trust that, you know. And I would translate that in Islam as tawakkul, but, you know, just become the pathway. Like, for example, when I went to Mecca, and I felt really remorseful. Like, it's in the haram, and then you see people doing tawaf, and I'm also in the tawaf, but you see people and trying to push people just to touch that black stone, you know, just pure ego, you know. I get it, it might be their last time, but that will never happen in Japan. Like, you know, we don't try to go like that. We go by the flow, we always read the atmosphere, we don't always try to not harm others. They say, wa o motte tattoshi to nasu, which means if you have the wa, you are already noble, you're kareem. And another saying might be, it's from the Confucianism, but they love to say that. いや、貴人はして同せず、で、小人 or 商人は同して和せず, which means a noble man, a wise man would do wa instead of just becoming same. But a small, young, immature people will just try to become the same and not do wa.
I have to say I'm impressed. But don't you think that these values of good manners and respect really echo what we already have in Islam? The difference is, though, we don't always put them into practice. And when we neglect those values, it can be off-putting to people who embody them so well. For me, this was a strong reminder of how important good manners truly are. What about you? What did it make you think of? Let me know in the comments.